My name is Joe Reichard. Welcome to another episode of The Saab Doctor. This is my wife's 227,000 mile 2010 Saab 9.3. The question of the day, is it a money pit? Stay tuned. So let's talk a little bit more about the car. We purchased this car in February of 2011 with only 1,500 miles on the odometer. It is a former loaner car from one of our local Saab dealers. Now, this being a base stick shift, it didn't actually get loaned out that much, which is interesting in the Saab community because there's a lot of stick shift cars. I would have figured that a stick shift loaner would have been loaned out quite a bit. Now, it is equipped with a sunroof, heated seats, and a manual transmission. And that's really it for options. It's not a heavily equipped car from the factory. Oh, it does have, I take that back, the one package it does have that my wife had to have was the OnStar package, which is kind of weird for 2010. The thing about the OnStar package in 2010 was it included Bluetooth, which is kind of a cool tidbit. It's actually been an exceedingly reliable car, so I guess my "is it a money pit" has been clickbait. And here's why I say that. It has 227,000 miles approximately, and we'll get into that. Has the stock clutch, stock coil packs. It has not had a valve job. It has the stock ion module. I mean, there's a lot of stock parts on this car still. So when I say it hasn't been a money pit, has it needed repairs? Yes. It's a 227,000 mile car, let's be realistic. Things that we've done, mainly suspension, interestingly enough. We've done front control arms, rear control arms. We've done the sway bar end links. We have done shocks, strut bearings, strut mounts. We have done the, well, obviously we've lowered it. Which it didn't need springs. Let me add that in there. I actually still have the stock springs. I did a fuel level sensor at 186-ish thousand miles. And actually at that time I replaced the whole fuel pump. I figured it had almost 200,000 miles on it. May as well replace it. The AC compressor clutch did go out. I replaced the AC compressor with a used AC compressor because I had one. And that happened at about 200,000 miles. And the one other thing was it was having some weird fluctuations with boost and cruise stopped working. There's a plug underneath the battery that actually gets dirty. Took it, cleaned it out, put dielectric grease in it, did that at about 130,000 or 140,000 miles, and it has been tip-top since. This car has been road tripped. We've taken it to South Carolina, multiple trips to Pennsylvania. It's been to Saab's at Carlisle many, many, many times. And we've taken it pretty much everywhere. I mean, as far as we've went. Now this car does have a handful of upgrades, so let's go through those now. Being a base car, the first thing you'll notice is that this car has the Griffin upgrade bumper. So this is a Griffin Aero Bumper. You have the 2012 Grille. Now we added the fog lights to this one as well. The car did not come with the fog lights from the factory. And it also has the Griffin headlights. So this would be the Griffin upgrade package. I'll take it. I'll put a link in the description below. So if you're looking for those parts, you can upgrade your car too. Now this was one of the first 12 that Saab parts had in the US, or I should say Orio had in the US when Saab parts was first getting started off. So we actually had this done in 2016. First unveiled the car at Saab's at Carlisle that year. The next thing you'll notice is the car has Enkei EKM3 wheels. Now we are running a 15mm spacer in the front and a 20 millimeter spacer in the rear. The reason for that is the EKM3s from Enkei in 5x110 only come in a 40 offset. So we had to push them out a little bit more to make them look right on the car. And last but not least, one of the most subtle upgrades on the car, and in my opinion one of the best, is the Griffin trunk handle. It makes the car a whole lot more sleek. And I mean, I love the Saab badge, but this is what was supposed to come on the 2012 cars. Now, some things to note when you're looking at high mileage Saabs, most of the seats wear out right here in the driver's side bolster. This actually, for 220, oh, sorry, it's not 227,000 exactly. It's 226,904. For 226,000 miles, this is actually in really good shape. We're trying to find an Aero interior for it. We've already upgraded the steering wheel with the Aero steering wheel, added the Aero shifts around, and this does have a sunroof as well. We have the Aero door trim and the glove box trim actually as well that we need to install. All right, so I'm sure your question is, what's it like to drive a 226 or 7,000 mile Saab? We're gonna go for a ride. So, one thing I always tell people about this car, and I used to be able to get away with it a little bit more when it had 150,000 miles, and I said, well, you just drop that last digit off, and that's how it drives. I mean, it doesn't drive like it has 26,000 miles, but I mean, this car, put my seatbelt on. This car, if I didn't tell people that it had 226,000 miles, I mean, I think 126,000 miles would even be sufficient. Let me close the sunroof, just so we don't get extra noise. So one thing I will say is, it does have a cup tire. So when it needed a control arm, I actually didn't realize it until a little bit too late, and we cupped one of the tires. But other than a little extra tire noise, I mean, this car just drives phenomenal. You know, you can turn the steering wheel, it goes where you turn it, you drop a couple gears, step on it, it's got great acceleration still. The clutch just grips. I mean, this car is just, it's impressive. It really is. And I'm not just saying that because it's one of the cars in our fleet. Here, if I thought the car was rough, I'd say it. You're going to learn that when I actually go through my Lightning Blue Vegan, which is a little bit on the rough side. Now, one thing I am going to say is, if this camera is a little bit off, I apologize. I've never actually used the GoPro inside of a car before, so that's kind of a new thing for me. But, I mean, this thing is just, it's just impressive for what it is. We're going to turn around in here. Hopefully these folks don't mind it. Then we'll head back. But, I mean, here, I can't think of another car that I have driven that's had these kind of miles on it and this many stock pieces and just drove so well. Now, part of that is probably taking care of it. And here, I won't say that we didn't take care of the car. We definitely have. You know, with a Saab, you always keep up with things like your oil changes, spark plugs, making sure to run the right spark plugs. I always do drive belts on these. I do the drive belt every 15,000 miles. I know they stretch out a little bit. It's a $15 part. I'd rather spend the money than get stranded because of not doing it. Oil changes, always religious 5,000 miles with a good synthetic. You can use whatever brand or weight you'd like. Now, weight, for oil weight, look in the manual, it'll tell you. I personally use a 5W30, but that doesn't mean that's for everybody. Let's see, what else have we really done? Tire rotations, I mean, those are the big things. And then just, you know, making sure not to let issues that have come up go for too long, because that, you know, that's something that is a huge issue. Is you get a problem, you don't fix it,
and then it compounds and other things happen. A few of the cool things in this car, I mean, here, you do have more of a GM dash in these cars, but you've still got your night panel button, which to me is one of my favorite things for the Saab. This car does have Bluetooth, which is a great part of that OnStar package that I was talking about. You have comfort open front windows, so if you're outside of the car, you can hold down the button, the unlock button on the key fob, and it'll roll the windows down. And then, you know, 2-liter turbocharged Ecotec. What more could you want?
So in a word, this car has been extremely reliable. It's actually never let any of us down. We've always had really, really good luck with it. And I mean, here, it's one of the many reasons why we have as many Saabs as we do. I just wanted to kind of introduce the car to you all so you can see a little bit more of the fleet, know a little bit more about the cars we have. Stay tuned, more of the fleet's going to be coming up in future videos. And hopefully really, really soon we're going to have a video on getting the rear differential and how to shop for a rear differential for your cross-wheel drive Saab. If you have any questions, you can always message me either on Instagram or through my Facebook page. Instagram at the Saab Collector. My Facebook page is Saab Doctor. You'll be able to see the links in the description below. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, let people know. I really appreciate it. I actually crossed 800 subscribers a few days ago, so I'm really, really proud of the channel. I'm really thankful for you all and tuning in, listening to me rant and ramble. Once again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, Saab on, folks.